This glorious battleground was once home to many indigenous people. World's Edge had a thriving population and industrious economy. What's left now is an abandoned metropolis and desolate wilderness with its only inhabitants mining the natural resources and purging the environment of any signs of life. The amalgamation of years of hard work by mercenary Cuban bliss to oppose the top fighters of the outlands against each other. This is the Apex Games. We begin our adventure today through the wreckage of what was once capital C, as we follow our precarious legend's journey. The reconnaissance drone is deployed promptly to get a better view of our impending fight. As luck would have it, a SWAT occupies a building with significant structural damage. If I were them, I would be less worried about getting shot and more worried about the floor collapsing beneath my feet. Whilst engaged in this fight to the death, the SWAT is quickly alerted to the presence of my drone. Negotiations between legends are never civilized and often degrade into violence almost straight away. The blood sport is a ruthless and savage affair that ensures only the strongest survive this brutal simulation of events. In this hostile environment, the legend must always be careful, as one wrong move could be fatal. It appears the drone has overstayed its welcome and was removed by a member of the team I had been surveilling. Our legend takes this opportunity to reposition into a safer area and out of harm's way. The drone was now repaired after taking significant damage from some very aggressive players. Knowing that they were not happy with my presence, I proceeded cautiously to gain a better vantage point of the ensuing chase. To competitors exchange gunfire as the inevitable demise becomes a reality for one of them. The victor claims the spoils of battle. Nonetheless, it is short-lived as jetpacks propel the aerial-dwelling Valkyrie to avenge her fallen comrade. Valkyrie takes a moment to consider her options. Does he chase down the enemy or resurrect her teammate? She soon regrets her decision, but manages to elude the enemies by soaring to the sky. There was no time to waste. Fresh blood had entered the fray. Once again, ballistic rounds reverberate around the shattered remains of the metropolis. A cluster of furious bombardments propelled down on the train station. Unfortunately, Gibraltar was unsuccessful in his attempts to fend off his attackers, and death boxes are all that remain. The spectacle of his ultimate can be seen from miles around, and it won't be long before another fight emerges from the aftermath. After what I can assume was a rather brief burial service, the legends must loot up quickly to prepare themselves for the next fight. More adversaries have arrived just as expected. The battle intensifies. Valkyrie legends go head-to-head in a growing display of violence for dominance. It appears, for now, the stalemate has concluded with one of the Valkyries retreating to lick their wounds. The fight moves furiously in between buildings. It's a frenzy at this point, and with many squads participating, or them waiting patiently to capitalize on a moment of weakness from the other teams. A team or perhaps more begin to invade from the west side of Fragment. Challenging this dominant squad in their natural habitat is no small feat. So late in the game, by now they would surely have everything they needed and were becoming an unstoppable force of nature. Gunfire rages on inside the building, and the collateral damages must be adding up to millions, I know. In the distance, a fallen player is bestowed life again and gets respawned back into the action by an incoming dropship. The drone's presence has become intolerable to these players at this point, but I was also getting better at dodging bullets. The electromagnetic pulse was released from my drone as a warning, but they could not afford to focus on me for too much longer, and my drone was disregarded as a threat to their existence. The Pathfinder and his team attempt to coordinate and assault up the zip line to our fortified veterans. Although seemingly busy, they were able to respond quickly enough to evade a massacre. Legends appear to be mindless, aggressive creatures, but when faced with adversary, tactics are devised between each other to overcome the obstacle in their way, and the time will tell who will execute their plan to perfection. I hope you are enjoying this documentary as much as I am. If you are, please don't forget to like the video, and if you would like to see more, subscribe to this chap's channel. It's jolly good stuff.
45 seconds. I'm recalling my drone.
The legendary position around the corner and out of sight. The drone was deployed once again. Ladies and gentlemen, gather on. We are about to observe the grand finale of the climatic ordeal. To teams left standing, exhausted and depleted, they must rise together one final time to face off at the pinnacle of natural selection on the high ground. A team that made their way from Sorting Factory and were in a considerably better position to engage in this skirmish. The team emerging from Fragment, now displaced from their familiar surroundings, will need to overcome great odds if they were to claim victory. As the final fight ensued, players were trading blows furiously from a distance. Unexpectedly, a player gets knocked down to the ground, giving the upper hand to our team from Fragment. In an attempt to balance the scales of war and prolong the battle, an electromagnetic pulse is released from my drone. I do not usually get involved with the natural order of the universe, but this was the most fascinating exhibition of hunter and prey I have ever seen in my life. Are you having a good time? I know I am. Be very quiet as we bear witness to a truly rare moment in nature. This lifeline revives her teammate in cover. I have never seen anything quite like it before. Absolutely astonishing. The opposing team has to press down with Valkyrie resurrected and lifeline operating with the mindset of a Buddhist monk. the odds are finally in their favor. Logging off the drone at an unfortunate time to move into the circle meant that we weren't able to get a glimpse of those final kills. It was time to reveal the man behind the drone, as with every other legend that crossed paths with these foes, I expected a similar outcome for our lone wolf. Not realizing that the odds were in his favor, it only took a few bullets to dispatch the final player. An unfortunate twist of fate, and I do apologize for our legend's selfish endeavors, but there can only be one remaining. I shall have a word with him for next time before he decides to go off script again. So, until next time, this is Sir David Hattisbra bidding you farewell, and best of luck in your own journey to becoming the next apex predator. Thank you very much for watching. Cheerio.